So, today we are diving into a powerful self improvement tool with Karen Rudolph. She's a transformational strategist who blends NLP and HeartMath and holistic modalities to help you unlock confidence, authenticity, and resilience.
HeartMath for me also taps into, because I'm a holistic healer, it also taps into stress management, stress relief, and gives people a context of how to get back into your heart pretty simply.
So, in terms for someone beginning their self improvement journey and they're feeling overwhelmed or stuck in some kind of a situation, what's the first mindset shift that perhaps somebody can make in that area to, declutter and come out of it and actually start finding solutions?
Well, there are a number of tools.
So, if somebody's wanting to center back, what do you think is the right way to go about it? And then, have the light from there. Welcome to another amazing episode of Luxury Unplugged Podcast. This is a self improvement podcast dedicated to inspiring you to unlock that potential, that hidden potential. Now, through powerful conversations with experts and thought leaders, we are exploring mindset shifts and confidence building. And of course, fueling your personal transformation journey. So, today we are diving into a powerful self improvement tool with Karen Rudolph. She's a transformational strategist who blends NLP and HeartMath and holistic modalities to help you unlock confidence, authenticity, and resilience. Welcome, Karen.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure being here with you, Neeti.
Lovely to have you over here, Karen. So let's get started. I mean, you talk about such amazing subjects like NLP and HeartMath. Why don't you give us an understanding of the basics of NLP first before we get into any further details?
Well, for me, the basics are really communication. It's a better way of communicating with self, so thus you can understand others. So I use it as a tool within my practice. And HeartMath, for me, it also taps into, because I'm a holistic healer, it also taps into stress management, stress relief, and gives people a context of how to get back into your heart pretty simply. It gives the tools to do that.
All right. So when you talk about, the heart math play in emotional self-regulation, what does it really mean and what is really heart math?
Well, HeartMath is, gosh, it's been around for a long time now. I'm a licensed practitioner of it. It supports, as I said, getting back into your heart space. And when you're stressing, and if you were to hook up yourself up to a EKG monitor, for instance, when you're in a normal state of stress, when you're in a normal state of flux, rather, it's more like a wave. It'll come up like a wave. When you're stressed out, it's going to be like this, right? So HeartMath supports you in getting back into your heart. A lot of breath work, a lot of mind shifting, and getting into allowing yourself to come from this and bring it back to that nice, easy flow. So.
Nice. So, can we really regulate our emotions if we are sort of, going through heart math and NLP? What is the process for that, really?
Really? So yes, absolutely you can. And most of it is really getting still. And, when you know yourself and you're true to yourself, you're able to get back into the state often. But a lot of people can't, because they're so in their head and they're so creating the anxiety for themselves and such, where a simple step like gratitude will bring you back into your heart. Appreciation for an animal. And I always say to people, if you can't think of something to appreciate or be grateful for, think about your animal. All of the incredible, it releases hormones into your mind and body that will support you bringing it back into that state of flux.
Right. Okay. So it could be as simple as loving your pet, whosoever you're having, right?
Appreciation and gratitude are the two key factors. Yeah.
So, in terms for someone beginning their self improvement journey and they're feeling overwhelmed or stuck in some kind of a situation, what's the first mindset shift that perhaps somebody can make in that area to, declutter and come out of it and actually start finding solutions?
Well, there are a number of tools. And, I've been doing this for a long time. I
Mm-hmm.
created my own tool, the Tranquil Solutions Clarity tool, which will support that in and of itself. But for somebody who hasn't discovered that yet, the first space to start would probably more than likely be what I would do for a client just starting. I always start with let's journal, because journaling is a form of self-discovery, right? As Shakespeare said in 1533, to thine own self be true, in the play Hamlet. And that's also biblical. When you're true to yourself, you're living your truth rather than somebody else's, and you're living your dream rather than somebody else's. So I would start with journaling, and I have specific journaling prompts that I use. It's not like I went to lunch with so-and-so today. It's not that kind of thing. Um, what I also do is I will ask them to start a list of two lists, actually. I'm a big advocate of writer. I've written, as you had mentioned earlier, 9 international best-selling books. The writing is key because it's that heart, the heart mind connection by using your hands, right, and seeing it on paper. And when you speak it out loud, it's bringing all of these tools together that are a natural part of our beingness.
Mm-hmm.
But in particular, I love using the tool, it's a simple paper, and you just fold it in half and write all your strengths down on it. On the other paper, you're writing down all the things that you want. Most people, I have come to realize, don't know what they want because they're coming from past-based experiences that left a bad taste in their mouth, so to speak. So they know what they don't want, but they don't know what they do want. So I'll take them through that journey of self-discovery. And that, to me, is where it all begins, is the willingness to want to step into that space of wanting to start your journey. And once you declare it, then the process starts automatically.
So once you declare that journey, how do you go about really getting unstuck? Is it about meditation? Is it through a sort of a process of HeartMath? How do we go about it?
Well, it's asking, right? In the beginning was the word. You don't ask, you don't knock, you don't get, right? So when you start asking, it's not a simple fix. It's not like HeartMath is going to fix it. It's not like NLP is going to fix it. You're not here to be fixed. You're whole, complete, perfect right here, right now. You're here to expand. So, and everything is interconnected. Your body is always talking. You don't listen, it's going to knock louder. It's the same thing with your mind. If you don't start asking the questions, it's going to be more of the same, more of the same, more of the same. So when you get clear on what you want, then we know a tool to use. And it really begins with that, as asking for what you are seeking. Ask broadly, and then we can refine it down to support you in moving it forward.
Right. So what has been noticed is that when people are going through, career shift, or perhaps they are in businesses, a sort of people-pleasing kind of a nature comes in, a sort of perfectionism attitude comes in as well, because it is the requirement of the job, what to do. So, but that kind of plays in your psyche, and that, kind of plays in and makes you move away from your authentic self, really. So, if somebody's wanting to center back, what do you think is the right way to go about it? And then, have the life from there.
Right. As a reformed people pleaser, I can talk from that for sure. Because people pleasing, whether it be on the job, whether it be in a relationship, it does not serve, right? When you're living your authentic life, you're speaking your truth, but there are ways of saying things, and there are ways of saying things, including on the job, including with teams, right? To have them be more present to listening to what you have to say and what you have to contribute, or what you're asking them to do, for instance, right? Again, there are ways of saying it, and that's where learning something like NLP would support, but more importantly, communication skills. Communication is not taught in schools. It's a learned skill, right? In school, they teach you the predicates and the nouns and the verbs and all that, but they don't teach us, at least here, necessarily how to communicate effectively unless you learn to take that on. That was one of my first personal steps that I took after coming out of a horrific divorce. It was like I didn't know how to communicate, and I knew I had to go before the judge. So I'm going to say communication is probably the most key to moving forward.
Right, right. So in terms of, having that mind, heart, and spirit connection, what do you think would be the lasting, self-improvement technique, which could start off slow for now, but maybe, can help us progress in the long run faster and
Right.
easier?
Being still. So meditating for sure. Meditating, journaling are great places to start, because in the fast-paced world where we're going, and there's this digital age and everything is happening, we're not still enough to listen to our internal. The mind is the ego, which is there to protect you. It will always be there. You can shift your thoughts, right? But the underlying stories, until you identify them, and that could be good, bad, and ugly to identify. But if you're willing to look at it and willing to say, oh, that feels like ugly, or that doesn't feel right, I want to shift that thought, right? Until you identify it, awareness is key. So until you identify it, you don't know what you're dealing with. You're just poking in the dark at something. So we all have patterns. But to bring those patterns back into our heart and be gentle and compassionate with them, you're going to move through it with so much more ease than if you're just sitting there throwing darts into the dark.
Right, right. So interestingly, you talked about patterns and the concept of meditating. Um, I feel that Ho'oponopono is a brilliant exercise in managing and sort of releasing those patterns. And it sort of helps you to emotionally disengage with so many things playing in your mind. What has been your experience in it?
I love Ho'oponopono. I do it every time I go out kayaking, right? For me.
Okay.
I work the work, I work the tools. I don't believe, honestly, that it gets rid of it, because patterns are there, they're ingrained. Once you become aware of those patterns, then you can choose to change them or not. Not is still a choice, right? Once you identify it, then you're able to create new habits which create. So for instance, I used to call myself stupid. I thought I was stupid. I do stupid things now and then, but I'm far from being stupid. So when you shift the perception and you get into a transformational state, you'll know what you're dealing with. And, as I said, I mean, I know I'm enough. I know I'm not stupid, and I know I'm valued. Years ago, that was my running dialogue. It will always show up. It will rear its ugly head. But how I choose to respond to it now rather than react to it, I have the tools to do such.
Right, right. Okay. So that's an informative and a beautiful aspect of what NLP and what HeartMath can possibly do for us. Obviously, it's a very, very deep subject, and we can have Karen again to have that kind of detailed discussion, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Great. So thank you so much, Karen, for sharing these transformative insights. And it's been lovely to have you and sharing authentic information regarding powerful guidance, towards self-improvement. So thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. And to everyone listening, remember, real self-improvement starts from within and with the right mindset and tools, so you can create lasting transformation in your life and work. Stay sassy and classy, just like what Karen says. And until next time, keep on watching Luxury Unplugged Podcast. Thank you so much.